Imagine trying to manage a logistics operation of this scale, thousands of pallets moving every hour. To control the chaos, a company rolls out a brand new warehouse management system, a custom application designed to track every single item in the building. On paper, the software is a masterpiece. An elite team of engineers built it with every advanced function imaginable. They gave it a sleek, high-contrast dark mode interface and packed the screen with dense data readouts, optimizing the code to run without a single glitch. But the moment it goes live on the floor, it fails. The warehouse workers refuse to use the app. They complain it's impossible to handle during a shift, shove the expensive scanners into their pockets, and secretly go back to tracking inventory with clipboards and pens. This is a common result when development is entirely technology-driven, satisfying the preferences of the coders, or business-driven, hitting profit margins set by executives. Both approaches share a flaw. They prioritize the internal goals of the company over the physical reality of the person using the tool. Standard agile engineering practices, like the build, measure, learn loop, hit a wall here. The analytics dashboard tells management exactly what is happening, a catastrophic 0% adoption rate. But the data cannot explain the human frustration behind that number. Obsessing over pure efficiency creates products that look pristine on a spreadsheet. But without the human element, you end up with software that functions perfectly in a lab and breaks down the moment it touches a real human life. To find the problem, the engineering team has to abandon their code. They leave the air-conditioned office and spend a full week working as pickers on the warehouse floor. Immediately, they feel the friction. You cannot operate a delicate smartphone screen when your job requires you to wear heavy canvas gloves. This is the first step of design thinking: empathize. The engineers learn that the workforce is aging. The tiny text in dark mode forces these workers to constantly stop and find their reading glasses in a hot, fast-paced environment. The engineering team moves to the define and ideate stages. They realize the goal isn't a better app. It's allowing a gloved worker to scan an item without needing to look at a screen at all. During ideation, they encourage the most unconventional suggestions, removing the fear of criticism to see what sticks. They build a prototype and test it. The new interface is stripped down to just 2 massive buttons. They replace visual confirmation with physical feedback, one sharp vibration for a correct scan and a rapid, aggressive shaking for an error. The workers strap the devices to their forearms and start scanning by feel. Error rates drop by 90% because the tool finally fits the environment it lives in. This human-centered approach aligns the product's function with the user's daily reality. It provides the desirability needed to ensure that once a tool is deployed, it actually stays in the worker's hand. But there is a caveat. A product that customers love can still fail if the business behind it cannot sustain itself. This blueprint on screen is the business model canvas. It is the mechanical counterpart to human empathy, used to turn a thermal tool into a viable company. Design thinking maps onto the right half of this canvas, validating the value proposition for the user. It confirms that the product is worth building, but it doesn't account for the infrastructure required to keep the lights on. To survive, you must prove the rest of the model. The left side demands feasibility, identifying the exact technical resources needed to support the app. The bottom section demands viability, ensuring the cost of those resources is lower than the revenue coming in. As a business diagnostician, I have to ask, how does your own organization source its ideas? Do your new projects originate from a brainstorming session in an executive boardroom, or are they born from someone sweating on the floor, observing how the hard work actually gets done? Look at this phrase: it's not the customer's fault. When a buyer uses your product incorrectly, do you get frustrated? Does your team blame the user for not reading the manual? A customer ignoring an instruction manual isn't an error on their part. It is a sign that the design of the product is at odds with natural human behavior. Competitors can often replicate a software feature or match a price point, but a deep structural understanding of a user's physical and emotional friction is an asset that is significantly harder to copy. Even with this understanding, the first attempt often reveals new gaps. In the next episode, we will look at how to fail fast, examining how those early errors become the raw data for a more resilient strategy.